It's a heartache, nothing but a heartache. Hits you when it's too late, gets you when you're down. What do you mean? What do you mean it's not that song? What is it then? Hey guys, it's Paul from Crowborough Guitar Tuition. Thanks for coming back again for another lesson. I was kind of not sure what I was going to teach this week, and just stumbled across some old kind of Killswitch Engage stuff, and I thought, oh yeah, maybe I could do some of that. So I'm a little bit rusty on it if I'm honest, but End of Heartache off the End of Heartache album, I think it is. I think that's what the album's called too. So really great song. Lots of bits which are fun, a couple of tricky little bits in there which will kind of keep you on your toes. So if you like this kind of stuff, there's plenty in there to enjoy playing. So let's break it down. As always though, do check out the tab. It should be a link in the description. Now some of what I teach might be slightly different to what's on the tab because I like to vary it a little bit. I'm going to show you a few variations of what you might want to do or not do, and it's up to you. So you'll see on the tab that the intro is tabbed out with this kind of fretting on the B and G strings at the 5th fret, so I'd use your 3rd and 4th fingers, and then actually fretting back to the 1st fret with your 1st finger on the E string. Before coming up to the 5th fret, 3rd fret, sorry. Now, to be honest, you can do that. I find with the level of distortion you're playing, even though you're palm muting it a little bit, everything just seems to bleed through a little bit too much for me. So I prefer to bar with my 1st finger across the 5th fret, the A and the, A, what am I talking about? On the B and G strings, there. And then what I do then is I use my 2nd finger at the 6th fret on the B string to just pull off to that 5th fret and then hit the 5th fret on the G string. So you have this. Okay, now of course that's going to be slightly palm muted. Okay, so I prefer to play it that way. I just think it gives it a slightly tighter sound. So up there, you're just, that last section, you're just going up to that 8th fret with your 4th finger. And you can decide just how much palm muting you want to use. You know, if you've got another guitar underneath doing those chords. You know, you're going to fill out the space anyway. So that'll take you through the intro. Now, what you've got in the main kind of riff that goes through the verses and you've got that kind of thing going on. So what you're doing there is sorry, I should have said we're in drop D here. I'm in drop D, the song's in drop C. Key, should have mentioned that right at the start. I just assumed everybody knew. So I'm playing in drop D because I can't be bothered to tune down to C and stuff and put heavier strings on and stuff. But if you are wanting to play against the track, you need to get down to C. So tune everything down one whole step and then drop your what is now a D down to a C. So it's still drop D tuning. Everything's relative. Here I'm playing it's still relative to each other. But if you put this against the track, you'll find that this is a whole tone too high. So anyway, we're down. I'm going to say we're down on the A and D strings here at the bottom. And so that section, you're palm muting and just those 2 open strings. Now you want to be a bit tighter, you want to be using this hand to mute a bit there. Just to kill the sound as much as possible. If you've got a noise gate, that's going to sound great. I've not. Okay, now what we're doing for that kind of section there. Now if you look at the tab, there's kind of an incidental, kind of very quick. Coming up from the, we're doing octaves, coming up from the E octave there. So with our 1st and 3rd fingers on the 7th and 9th frets on the A and G respectively. So we're going from there that E octave sliding up to F 1 fret and back down to the E. Okay, now you might find that that is just a little bit too quick for you. To be honest, you can get away with just going from the F to the E, doing that. Just doing that slide there. How does it go? So you could do it like that, or like that. To be honest, for years and years I just did that because I wasn't really hearing on the track, or I wasn't paying much attention. So whatever works for you. Then it goes back down to that C octave, so the 3rd and 5th frets on the A and G strings, using our 1st and 3rd fingers, and we're sliding up to the D octave. So again, on that second time round, you're still doing the same muting on the bottom strings. And the octave shift is exactly the same, except you don't go from C up to D, you just end on that C. And like I say, you can get away with just doing it like that if you want to. So just have a feel of what you're comfortable with. If you're finding it's too quick to do the bits and be accurate and get to the places, it sounds a bit messy, don't worry about it. To be honest, most people listening are never going to hear that, okay? So you play that round twice, and then it changes. So we're going to the 8th fret for the muting. So we're going to bar the 8th fret on the D and A strings. So it's the same pattern as before. And then just... So yeah, again, you're just doing the same octave shift, but at different places, but over a different chord. Initially over open strings, and then over the 8th fret. Now the only time it changes is the kind of 4th time round, I think it will be. So you've done your... So you get that slide from 8 to 10. Okay? So just a first finger slide, nice and easy. Okay, now we go into the section where we're going to be muting just on the bottom string. And so on. Okay, so it's just open string there, just so you can hear the rhythm on the song. So what we're going to do there is we're going to put our first finger at the 7th fret on the E, on that D string, bottom D string is tuned down. And we're going to use our 4th finger at the 10th fret. And we're going to basically just do a hammer on and a pull off, a quick trill really. You want to get it at least 3 times. Okay, and then it goes down 1 fret, so you just go to 6 and 9. So again, it's quite quick. You'll notice on the tab that they kind of pull off at the end. I've never done that. The A string. Okay, and that just repeats round and round, and then the last time it goes to the chorus. Back on that slide from 8 to 10. Now the chorus has got 2 guitars going on. So if you look at the tab, you can see how those parts are broken into 2. I'm just going to play it as a single guitar part, which is slightly different to what's written in the tab. But I just think if you're playing this by yourself, and this is what we're going to go for. So what we've got here is we're going to bar at the 8th fret with our first finger. So that's going to cover at least the bottom 3 strings, every chorus that exists. Now you've got this really good section. So the way this riff works is the fret notes between fret you're playing the open string. Now let's look at it without playing the open string first. So we'll start at 12, down to 10. I'm using there. So as I'm moving down, if I go back up to a note, I'm not using my third finger or my second finger. So let's take that real slow. Okay, so that's the pattern, and you can see it in the tab, all on the D string. Now the key is you've got to throw in all those open Ds in between. So really what you have is this. Okay, so that is a little bit slower than the song. And so it's not muted, it's really just rip-roaringly fast, and you're going to be alternate picking all the way through. Now, it changes very slightly the second time round. You'll notice that on the tab, when you get down to those 5s and 3s, the last time round you have a little pull off there, which just gives you that bit of breathing space to get down to that 5th fret on the A string, which you're going to do a pinch harmonic on. Now, Killswitch and Gage love their pinch harmonics. You just need plenty of distortion. If you've not done pinch harmonics before, you've got to kind of scoop, almost slice through the string. So the pick, what happens is the pick hits the string, and just afterwards the flesh of my thumb hits the string, and it kind of causes this harmonic to ring out. So you need to kind of almost slice downwards. So I'm not just picking up and down like I would do normally. There's a kind of a turn sideways, partly sideways, as I push down through that string, and the pick goes through, and then my flesh of the thumb hits it as well. It's great when you get it ringing out, and if you get a nice bend on it. Okay, so we're kind of rattling through these sections. There's really only a couple more bits to look at. There's a kind of breakdown bridge section after one of the choruses. So you have this. You're probably familiar with that part of the song. Now, again, quite a nice little part to play. So we're going to bend at the 5th fret on the D string. So it's quite a quick. You've got to go up and down. And then we're going open, 5, 3. Sorry, open 5, open 3. And then onto an open. And then we've got this chugging on the bottom string. And we're just hitting that 1st fret for that little stab there. So every time you hear that note go up, really we're just playing that 1st fret there. So we're barring across frets number 1 on the D and A strings. Second time round, it's basically the same, except we've got a slight different rhythm at the end. So what you've got there is we haven't got that 1st fret coming in on the second time. So I'll play them through in a row. Hopefully you'll hear the difference. So hopefully you can hear that difference there and what's going on. You'll hear as that goes on, there's some octaves that play over the top. Really, that's just a D octave. So 5th and 7th frets on the A string and the G string. And then that's going up to the F octave at the 8th and 10th frets on those same strings. And you return to the D. Okay. Now really, that's most of the song. A lot of it you'll hear, you can hear it repeating, you can hear where these bits go. The only other section really is this clean section, which there's 2 guitars going on. I'm just going to give you one of them, look on the tab to see the other section, and you see it goes like this. Okay, so what we're going to do there is if you take your first finger and bar across the top 3 strings, it's probably the simplest thing, at the 6th fret, and then take your second finger and place it at the 7th fret on the G string. And really you're only playing the top 3 strings, and you're kind of alternating between hitting the G and B together and the B and E together. Okay, so we got that. So you should have 7, 6, 6, 7, 6, 6. That then changes to 7, 6, 5. So we're going to shift down. So I'd use your 3rd finger at the 7th fret, 2nd finger at the 6th fret, and I'd have that 1st finger still barring across the 5th fret there. I'm then going to go down to 5, 5, and 3. So I'd use fingers 3 and 4 at the 5s and my 1st finger for the 3rd fret. And then we're going to whip back up to where we started, 7, 6, 6. The only other thing really is I think right as the song's ending, you've got some more octaves going on during that final chorus, and that is starting up at the 15th and 13th frets. So 13 on the A string, 15 on the G string. There we go. Let's go. Oh, bit of distortion. And then it drops down to 12 and 14, so the A. You hear it whips up there quickly partway through the bar, so that goes up to the C, so 15 and 17. So you've got, if I just tell you where the root notes are for the octaves, and hopefully you can work out the rest. So we've got 13, 12, 15. Okay, then we drop down to 10. Down to 8, back up to 10. And then the whole song finishes just down on those bottom strings. Open strings, but palm muted. And with your noise gate, it's going to sound great. Cool, so I'm aware, actually, there's quite a lot going on in that song, probably more than I thought. It's taking a little bit longer than I hoped it would. But hopefully, if you can use this and you can use the tab, you'll be able to work out what to do. You'll be able to combine those 2 guitar parts into one if you're just playing by yourself, or you want to play with a track and maybe get the feel rather, play as 1 guitar rather than 2. The real tricky part, I think, in the whole song is the kind of quick section after the chorus, which has got a pinch harmonic at the end. Take it slow, just get really used to the pattern so that it's kind of in your fingers, basically. And then once you've got it slowly, just build it up bit by bit. If you've got a metronome, use a metronome to build it up. A metronome was something I didn't use for a long time, and now I'm kind of really into it because I find they're really useful tools. It helps you see if you're actually playing in time as well, let alone just building speed. So it's a great one. So guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed that. Do let me know any other songs you'd like to look at, and I'll see you again soon. Thanks very much. Bye. Hi guys, thanks for watching. For more guitar tips and video lessons, click on the subscribe button down below and let me know in the comments what songs or video lessons you'd like to see. If you want to keep up with some of our news, you can like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter, or you can always check out our website, crowboroughguitartuition.com.